I'll leave a room and it'll disconnect, and then I'll come back, and out of nowhere, something that I'm listening to right here is super loud.
Really?
So yeah, it sucks.
Oh yeah. By the way, we're talking about Bluetooth staying connected without knowing it's connected. By the way,
Yep.
I hit the record button. We're on.
Ooh.
Yeah, I figured I'd just hit it while you were yapping.
Well,
I've seen that. I'm looking at the screen and I'm like, well, what's going on over there? Oh,
welcome to Hentai Heathens.
Motherfuckers. Oh, shit, hang on. Actually, let's just go ahead. Pause. Okay, cool. We're back. All right. A little interception there. Today we're joined by the one and only AceChase.
yeah, I guess, yeah. Just hanging out. I'm going to be talking about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mostly invited him over because I wanted to chat about Spider-Man 2, and fucking Die Hard has yet to even play the game. And Ace is the only other one in the friend group who has platinumed it, like
Well,
me.
that's the thing. Why would I play a trash game?
I'll just fucking kick you off right now.
Ooh. I'm so sad to hear that.
That breaks my heart.
Was it actually good though?
It is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I have a lot to say about this game. But did you play the first one?
Yeah, I played the first one and I beat Miles Morales.
Okay.
And what, you didn't like him or
Did you
what?
beat-
No, I loved him.
Did you beat the first one?
I was just cracking a joke.
You
Oh,
just-
See
so
your
he-
guys' expression.
He wanted to be the flip side to it. You know?
I see. He's here
we
to
love
argue.
The game. He's gotta
Yeah.
hate it.
Motherfucker, I hadn't even played
I gotta
it.
play devil's advocate.
Fair enough. No, I think it's funny how you even told me that you've been like thinking about this all week because I pitched the idea to you Monday if you wanted to do a review of it, and then you text me like yesterday, like, man, I've been thinking about it all week.
Yeah. No, I really have this. The game's good, and I was like, what would we really talk about? And
Spoilers.
yeah, there's a lot.
There's
of
gonna be a lot of
spoilers.
them.
I'm
Sorry, Die Hard.
I'm
sorry.
Probably not gonna play it until another year. So
Okay, then we have time.
yeah.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
Very.
I think it did a lot better in terms of the gameplay and the story being a lot. So, like in the first one, I felt like they had a lot of side things for you to do, and the story was long, and in parts, I felt like it kind of would drag out.
Definitely.
Whereas Miles was very short and sweet to like
Yeah.
very
Nice and
very to the point.
Here's the story. Play it.
Whereas I think Spider-Man 2 gives you enough. It lags on in little spots, but it just builds to the story.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it ultimately was the best blend of the two. And it makes me like look forward to my prediction is that it's going to be, so we're going to get another Miles game, which will then be followed up with Spider-Man 3. And then we already know that Wolverine's on the horizon. It's the next
Yeah.
game.
I'm so
I'm
glad that
so
Insomniac
fucking
is making
stoked.
that one.
So something to think about. Not to have an answer right now, but if you could choose any other Marvel character,
Deadpool. I don't have to think. I already know. It'd be Deadpool.
okay, Deadpool's your answer.
Well, I really enjoyed. A lot of people hated on the Deadpool game back on PS3. I actually had a lot of fun with it. Like, one, the humor was spot on to the Deadpool comics. The gameplay to me just felt a lot like Devil May Cry style, which I love those kind of games anyway. So I think the game was great, even though it didn't really get very good credit. And now with the Deadpool movies, thanks to Ryan Reynolds and like how big it's grown, I think, and especially if Insomniac took it over, I could definitely see like an open world Deadpool game. I would love it. Yeah, you wouldn't be swinging around unless I mean, in the comics, Deadpool has stolen Spider-Man's web swingers. That'd be freaking hilarious just to be swinging around as Deadpool.
Well, I mean, like, and you add in the factor of like teleportation and
Yeah, because he does have the teleporting belt, which hasn't really been touched on much in the movies yet.
yeah,
It does malfunction a lot, which I think would make a really fun gameplay if they actually made the teleporting belt malfunction as much as it does in the comics. I think that'd be hilarious. You go to fast travel to this location, you end up across the map.
I think ultimately there's one like overarching thing that like bothers me about Spider-Man 2.
Mm.
Obviously, we know that Avengers Tower is there.
Yeah.
Because it's in the other two games.
Is it the fact that no one fucking came to help when the whole fucking New York was being taken over by symbiote?
Yeah, so you literally have Venom. That again, spoilers. You literally have Venom taking over the entire state of New York, and it's to the like the goal is the world.
Yeah,
Hive
cure the world.
Hive mind take over the world.
And dude, he's literally turning like all these people into fucking little symbiotes. Like they become the main enemy you got to fight against.
So what you're saying is I should have played it when I bought it.
Yes, dumbass.
So and that's the thing. Like the symbiotes end up reflecting more so with the user.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we get Venom.
Which, by the way, I love. I've never read a lot of Spider-Man comics. I don't know if in the comics if this person's ever actually been Venom or not. To my knowledge, it hasn't. Big spoiler: Venom in this game is Harry Osborn. What?
I think you're coming through on both mics.
Am I? Nah, you're tripping.
Well, look at the bars.
I mean, you're coming through on it too.
Oh shit.
Quick interception, people. Pause. And we're back. Yeah, sorry about that. There was probably hearing double of my loud ass.
And my ass too.
Yeah, sorry. Getting Ace's mic dialed in. I forgot to up the denoising of it. Back to the biggest spoiler of the game, at least to me, was Harry Osborn being Venom. That was, to me, I didn't see that coming. That was a great twist.
Shit.
Oh, and it was so well done. And you know, a lot of people want to complain about jokes in the game. Like the jokes were fine. Like I think a lot of the jokes really actually just built to the character. Just the dry humor that Peter has.
Yeah.
You know.
I think he's always had it. Like I love his freaking dry humor.
And like a lot of the movies don't really show that, and a lot of like even cartoon adaptations don't really show Spider-Man as Spider-Man, you know. But I mean, he's a witty character.
He's a nerd.
Yeah.
Just because he got freaking bit by a spider didn't make him cool. He was still a nerd.
Yeah. No, the game was great, and I really did enjoy the aspect of you're watching everything you did in the first game come undone.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
damn.
And with that, you're also the people that you fought to put away, and you know, obviously you want to make the area that you're living in, New York in this case, safer.
Yep.
And now all the people you put away are being let go, and you can't even find them. And then the next thing you know, dead.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, yeah, because the main villain at the start is Kraven the Hunter, who's literally freeing them just to hunt them down and kill them.
so good.
Because
Yeah.
Kraven's never gotten the spotlight in the movies or anything, so come out is awesome.
Well, there's going to be a Craven movie next year.
Really?
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
really?
Who the fuck would play Kraven?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
I don't even know who that is.
I know you don't.
I'm not
Yeah.
good with names.
Yeah, I think he'd be a really good
He-
Craven.
he's the actor set to play Craven.
Hell yeah.
What's another?
Kick-Ass.
Yeah, he played Kick-Ass.
Yeah,
Wanna
he
play
played Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
He played Kick-Ass, and let's not talk about it, but he played Quicksilver in
Oh, in the
Yep.
OGs?
in Avengers, and did not. It was not the favorable adaptation of Quicksilver.
Yeah.
You know, the first time, probably the first like 4 times I watched Kick-Ass 2, I did not fucking realize Stars and Stripes was Jim Carrey. I will publicly admit to that. I don't.
Really?
It went over my head. I did not know that was Jim Carrey as Stars and Stripes, and I am retarded. I know. I just.
Yeah, no, as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh shit, Jim Carrey's in this movie.
Right over my head. I don't know. I just did not make the thought connection at all.
He regrets doing the movie though. So
Did he really?
yeah, he liked it. He when he got on board, but then once he saw like it's not the violence that he wanted to promote in the world.
That's true. It kind of is against
Um,
most of what he preaches.
and he very much so is like, if I could take it back, I would.
Speaking of Jim Carrey,
Well, good thing you can't take it back.
yeah, I know because I loved it.
Yeah.
But there is rumor of a Grinch 2 with Jim Carrey being the Grinch again. I would definitely love that. No one else deserves to play that role. And if they were to make a live action Grinch without him, it would just be disappointing.
Yeah, I think he'd have a lot better time the second go around because they can do a lot more with visual effects.
Yeah, he
and-
won't have to fucking goop on so much makeup because he said that was like the worst part about it was the hours it took getting all that damn green on his face. Still to this day, probably one of my second favorite Christmas movie.
So that's the issue when you get like any of us together, like especially the three of us.
Rabbit holes,
we
rabbit
spiral.
holes.
So back to Spider-Man 2.
We never go back though. That's the issue with me and him is when we do ours, we just go down rabbit holes. You know, I never even got to talk about my favorite part of that mosh pit of Lorna Shore. We brought up the concert and then immediately never came back to it.
So again, back to Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man
Yeah, Spider.
2.
We're here for a Spider-Man 2 review. Harry Osborn being Venom and Craven being in the game.
Yeah, I think as in terms of villains, that those were the two. And I love the setup for the Spider-Man, like, well, I mean, the universe going forward. I imagine Wolverine's going to share the same universe. So I said it was weird that the Avengers are not even mentioned. There is a Doctor Strange cameo via a note. That is it. That you get a note from is it Wong? I don't know who it is, but the guy that's with Doctor Strange. There's a little cameo from them. That's it. In terms of that, it's like, oh, New York's falling apart. Nobody needs to be there. Spider-Man's got this, right? And that's even more noticeable because there's a rooftop that has a Fantastic Four logo on it.
Oh,
Yep.
shit.
So you know that the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, and Doctor Strange, because you knew that Doctor Strange was there because we've seen the building before in the first two games. But then you're like, nobody is helping Spider-Man.
And dude, like towards when you start getting towards the end fight, like they're not kidding, the whole town is just rammed with freaking symbiote. Like there's giant nest things that are growing out the ground of I keep saying symbiote, but I know that's not symbiote. There's giant nests growing, like you literally can't go around the town without getting attacked mostly. It gets nuts and no one fucking shows.
Yeah, so that's a little, to me that's like the only over glaring flaw in the game.
Maybe they were in space fighting Thanos.
So, and that's the thought too, like, right? Because we don't know where the time frame lines up, but we know that Spider-Man's been Spider-Man for years.
Yep.
This is older Peter.
Which is even more so once you get towards the end of the game and you're realizing how aged Peter really is. But I think the game did justice by the first two games. And really, like, it leaves more to be desired, but not from this game. Because, like, we know the DLC is going to be coming out. Which I like that some of the thread points of the side stories.
That's what I was about to bring up. Like the flame.
Mm-hmm.
So I never knew of the flame. Like I said, not big into comics and all that. But there's this whole side story where you have this cult being made and they're worshiping the flame. And you have this basic cult leader fucking wanting to burn the world and all this shit. When you finally beat it all, like you finally get to see him and he's getting arrested. And then you get a call from this, what's her name? Wrath?
Yeah.
She's the original detective from the first game who became Wrath, a vigilante. And she starts talking to you about, I've checked all of the Flame's alienesses, and she starts naming all these names. And then she's like, I've checked all this one, and even Curtis Cassidy. And it's like, holy shit. You come on, tell me you know that name. What? That's fucking Carnage's name.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
so
Curtis Cassidy.
you get that thread, and
I
then
loved it.
and I'm getting like, and I'm doing this mission right, and I'm just like, come on, dude, let me fight another symbiote. Because I did this mission after I'd already beat the game. This is actually the last thing I did before I got my platinum. Um, and it was because at first I wasn't too interested in the story of the flame because it's like a 3-part.
Same. I was
Um,
way more focused on the main story. I did the flame after beating the game.
and then once you get done with it, you get the beautiful line. Like this game has all the beautiful lines. I think the voice acting delivers
Spot on.
100%. And the moment for that to me is the "We Are Venom" line. Phenomenal.
Oh, it fucking.
But that moment in that mission when you hear there will be carnage,
Yes.
and then
Look at
he leaves.
fucking goosebumps right now. Look at
And
just thinking.
I felt so teased that that's where that mission ended. That's where that all ended.
Yep. Then when you finish the fucking flame shit and you hear that name, it's like
Yeah.
breathtaking.
So I'm excited. I'm hoping that that's going to be DLC. There's a small chance that it could be, story for the next game.
I hope
I
not.
doubt it.
I mean, I don't get me wrong. I would love a full on like Venom and Carnage game, but I can't wait that long. Make a DLC. Just give it to me now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be DLC. I haven't looked into any of the DLC. I think it's going to be DLC, and I'm not touching the game till DLC comes out.
Same. I mean, I already platinumed it, so you beat me by a fucking day.
Yeah, and then on the game, our hours logged. He's got one more hour than me.
Spend another hour swinging around.
Yeah.
Though I gotta say too, another great like hidden thing. So around the whole map, there's these spider bots that are everywhere, and they're really funny too, because like there's these little like just little robot spiders, but most of them are designed after other Spider-Man and shit like that. I think my favorite spider bot is the James Jonah Jameson
Yep,
spider bot.
I
There's
knew
literally a
that's
little
where that
spider
was
bot,
going.
got the mustache, everything.
That's cool.
The coolest thing though is after you finally collected all the spider bots, you go to this location. It's just a brick wall. All of a sudden, a fucking portal opens up in the wall to the Spider Verse, and I don't know who the chick was, who pretty much said, "I'll take those," and basically sucks all the
Yeah.
spider bots that you were carrying, and it just
But then
Hell
they
yeah.
say Miguel.
yeah, literally
Yeah.
say Miguel will like these or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like like I said, I don't know who the chick was, but it straight opened up to the Spider Verse, and I'm like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me?
Which is funny because the noir suit is the one that I was rocking when I finished the game.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Which suits did you rock the most?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, that's easy for me. So for Peter, it was I went back and forth between his, I think it's the Far From Home or No Way Home. It's the red and black, the new red and black
Yeah,
suit, because I love red and black. They're such good color combinations together. But then I also ran the one made for this game, the advanced suit 2,
Yeah.
but with the black variant.
I think I did that a lot too.
And then Miles, I ran the fucking 2099 suit, the purple version of his 2099. I ran that one the whole time with Miles.
So for some reason, I played the game where I needed them to match.
I tried that for a minute, but then I don't like Peter's 2099, and I just couldn't get off of Miles'
No,
2099.
I don't like Peter's 2099 because it's not really Peter's. It's supposed to be
Well, it's Miguel.
Miguel's.
Yeah.
So, but I kept changing suits. I think as I unlocked suits, I just would change to new suits.
I mean, same.
I did like the aspect in this one where they added more variety to it because you could choose this suit with this color scheme.
Sorry, it wasn't his black one that I ran for Peter the most. I did use that one during like stories and all that, but if I was just swinging, Spider-Punk. I love Spider-Punk suit, and the fact, like you said, they added the different variants, because my only issue with the Spider-Punk suit was just too much blue. So I ran the fucking black variant of Spider-Punk, and it looked amazing.
So while we're talking about suits, Guess there's a lot of people that are upset about the final suits in the game.
I
So
mean,
you get the one that Harry gifts Peter,
hmm
which is supposed to be from the comics. Um, I don't think the end suits were supposed to be anything to like, oh, this is phenomenal. You know, it's supposed to just
Mhm.
be a closing of a chapter.
yeah,
You know, I think Miles was meant to mean a lot more because he made his last suit.
yeah, it was supposed to be.
Um,
I am me now. Like I'm not copying you, anything. Like
yeah,
this is my thing.
and it's his look, and honestly, I like it.
I
That once
thought
I unlocked it, that's the one I was rocking.
I thought it was pretty cool. Well,
Uh,
because I was running the one also for a little bit that's similar to the one you get at the end of the game. We got for pre-ordering.
yeah,
Same deal. It's got his hair pretty much sticking out,
yeah,
which I think for Miles is a good look. But same time, I just love Miles with a hood on. Hence why I love
yeah.
the 2099.
I think the only issue is that you end up. My only issues with that suit is that it's like, man, your head, like half your hair is sticking out.
Yeah, it kind of makes it easy to identify you with them
Yeah.
curls, bro.
And Stan Lee once said that the reason why people like Spider-Man so much because he's completely covered. You don't see white arm underneath. You don't see, you know, black skin or dark skin. You don't see that stuff. So it's easy for anybody to believe, man, that could be me under that suit.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So then once you get to like Miles, who has a more of a unique look in that suit, it takes away the man, anybody could be Spider-Man aspect.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, we
But
know
at the same time, it looked pretty fucking good.
yeah, it did. Hence why I used it, and I think if I were to log into the game, that is the suit that I'm using right now, which may or may not be true because my
So that's what the final suit
God
looks like. Die Hard.
damn, that looks fucking
I
fantastic.
think my favorite suit in the game is actually one that you get from doing a side mission. And it's not just a side mission; it's all of the Craven the Hunter side missions.
You actually liked those
That's
suits?
I did
That's a really good
because
spider suit.
Yeah, like I said, Miles' final suit's pretty sick.
I did because it looked like what if Craven broke Spider-Man?
Like,
Mentally snapped him. That is the route that I think Spider-Man would go, and where the pelt like style. I just it's not that I like it as an overall for Spider-Man thing.
it was good for the game though.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the suit I ran as Miles.
Okay.
Yeah, which I dig. I like Miles with a hood.
How many side villains were there? There was Mysterio.
Mysterio being a good guy, that was definitely an interesting take. He literally opened up his little like
Well, yeah, because this is years
amusement
later.
things.
You
Yeah,
know, in the lore of the world, Spider-Man's already beat him.
yeah.
He's trying to be reformed, and you see that with like Tombstone,
Sandman, literally at the start of the
Sandman.
game.
um, and then it's like Craven's disrupting these people's lives. Like
Yeah.
Spider-Man did his job,
They're literally trying to be good.
and then you have Craven the Hunter, who's like, "Okay, I'm gonna come in here and just take over your life," and it gets to the point where he's like, I'm not just gonna fight anybody anymore. Go ahead and fight for the right to fight me. Either way, you're gonna die. Like,
So yeah, so Craven's whole thing is he literally he wants to die, but it has to be by someone who can defeat him. He's pretty
Yeah.
much set on that like old
I
warrior
thought-
mentality.
I thought the way they're going with this particular story was he's already dying and he's looking for a better hunt. Or at least that's how Jobo was explaining it to me.
he is already dying. He's not. I don't think it has anything to do with the hunt. It's that in his brain, he believes that everything and everyone should be hunted.
Okay.
There should always be a bigger predator, a badder predator, and every person is a prey. He was looking for his predator.
Trying to find someone to basically be his predator, to make him the prey.
And I'll tell you what, one of the coldest moments in the game. Peter goes up to this motherfucker. Is like, pop pop, right? Nothing. Craven's just like, why you hold back? Stabs him in the fucking stomach, dude.
Yeah.
Literally, he's
shit.
dying.
Doesn't hold back, like stabs him, then leaves him to die.
He's literally dying.
Got him
And
in
the
the
only
gut.
thing that saves him is Venom.
Because Harry, that's when Harry basically comes over and basically gives him the symbiote. Fucking, that's how he gets the black suit and shit of Spider-Man and all
Yeah.
that. But it's all because Craven just didn't even hesitate, just stabbed him fucking right in the gut.
But
it was hard.
It's part of that right there. And then you get into the psychology of the game where you're like, now Peter is running around saying that he needs the suit. He needs this suit because it makes him a better Spider-Man.
Yep.
The fucking suit starts getting in his head, but it's very slow.
And it's that psychology of me. Well, it's almost like he's realizing, like, pulling my punches will get me killed.
I might actually have to kill this guy.
Yeah. And he gets to the points where he's ready. And honestly, the fights in this game, phenomenally done.
Cinematic.
I think my only issue with the fights is that you have to go so many rounds with these villains. But even that is still like, I would not change anything about probably the biggest fight in the game outside of, like, obviously boss fights. I almost don't want to talk about it because if you haven't played it, you should, just because this fight is that good. But when you're watching Craven when you're playing Craven, like fighting Craven as Spider-Man, you have, like, the whole fight, he's literally, like, got Craven on his toes, dude. He's like, why the fuck are you running? You don't want to fight me one-on-one? What about this being a hunt? What about this being, you know what I mean? Like, you see that switch where he's, like, trying to get in Craven's head.
Yep.
Where he's like, why do you need all these people to come in here and fight this battle for you? And it's
because all of Craven's little lackeys, are coming in and
so
fighting
good.
you.
Yeah, so you have those flips, and I think they really did a good job of, like, really showing you how much the suit changes Peter.
Yep, and they did it without a dumb dance. That's the best part.
Yeah, yeah. So eventually, you get to the end of the game, right? And I think part of that fight was the hardest fight in the game. Other parts of it, I don't know. When you're playing it, you're obviously playing Spider-Man versus Venom here. That fight is hard, but there's also easy parts to it too. What's even harder, in my opinion, was the fight after that I did not expect.
Yeah.
When you're playing as Miles versus Venom. Oh my god.
That one is hard.
And it's so beautiful at the same time.
I'm glad I'm not the only one, because legitimately there was times where I was getting distracted from the gameplay because of just how beautiful the environment and everything going on was. I'm just like,
well, and Venom, like,
oh
you see
my
him,
God.
you watch Venom be Venom, dude. And
Legit.
He like, it's the best part. Like, so if you watch Venom in movies, right? So, like, let's go back to the Sam Raimi trilogy.
Yeah.
He's literally Spider-Man with Eddie Brock in the middle.
Yep.
So he's got
pretty
a
much.
cocky, arrogant personality. So they take all the Spider-Man aspects, and then you take Tom Hardy's Venom, where he's got all this, the symbiote can create anything, and they put it in one like it's supposed to be.
Yeah, the legit Venom.
So, when I'm watching Venom chase Peter Parker,
Shit.
And all of a sudden, this motherfucker sprouts wings.
Yep. Big old fucking like bat wings.
Oh
Like,
my
oh,
God, it is so beautiful. So glorious. And that's how you fight him as Miles.
and it's
Oh,
fucking
no.
hard. Dude. He's hucking shit at you. He's
Yeah.
flying around. Like, another thing I love too, like the newer Venom movies definitely did a little better. My biggest issue with the old Venom was how small he was.
Yeah.
Like, Venom
Because
has always
they-
been huge.
Well, okay. Topher Grace. That's the problem. You went with that 70s show star
Yeah.
who is a scrawny little nerdy person, which is fine. Like, but that's not Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock is supposed to be,
A jock.
yeah, more or less. Like he is supposed to be a journalist, like Peter Parker. He's supposed to be his rival in that aspect.
Yep.
And I think everything that they did with Venom in that, or well, with Eddie Brock in that movie, good.
Just not him being Venom.
Yeah,
Eddie Brock was good,
It's
but
pretty
Venom
much.
wasn't.
It's pretty much that you put. Again, it's like you took. It's almost like Topher Grace. He's smaller than Spider-Man. He's smaller than Peter Parker.
Yeah.
So
Doesn't help that Tobey Maguire, you know.
Yeah,
He's pretty tall.
he's smaller than Tobey Maguire. And that's where you lose it.
Yep.
Because literally when he's bullying him and like saying that you're knockoff pictures and stuff, he's literally the bully. He's the bigger person using his physical stature to intimidate the smaller person.
Yep.
Whereas Eddie Brock always did that to Peter Parker.
Yep.
And obviously Peter's not intimidated, but because Peter and Spider-Man are two different entities, theoretically, obviously, it adds that dynamic of layers. But yeah, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3 ultimately just the studio wanted something that Sam Raimi didn't want, so he crammed everything in there and
It didn't work.
yeah, oh man, it would have been so cool though. So cool to have a lot more story building to that movie, cuz I mean, especially coming off of the second one.
Dude, like, because
Yeah.
still to this day, I mean, I'll fight you on this. Spider-Man 2, in my opinion, is still the best one.
Oh, see,
Like-
you're not wrong.
I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. His stature, you know, everything about him definitely makes a way better Peter. And the fact that this is the MCU Spider-Man, Tom Holland to me is a great Spider-Man, yes. And the movies are also really good, but fucking Spider-Man 2 just hit every mark so well. I mean, wise, I mean, No Way Home is definitely the second best one because everyone comes back and it's so good.
You know, I think so. I had a conversation with my brothers about this the other day because we talked about Spider-Man a lot. And we were talking about the movies. We're like, okay, so Tobey Maguire had 3 movies, Andrew Garfield had 2, Tom Holland had 3, right?
Tobey Maguire had 3.
Tobey Maguire had 3.
Yeah, you
Yes.
said Tom Holland had 3.
Oh yeah, Tobey Maguire
You said
had
Tom
3.
Holland twice.
And we were talking about that. I was like, I think the Sam Raimi trilogy with Tobey Maguire did so well because it told a story in the movie. Like, the movie was one coherent story.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
In the first one, second one. Once you get to the third one, it's a shit show, right? Not necessarily his fault. Like, I wouldn't say anybody involved was at fault except for the studio that wanted more and more.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Andrew Garfield's like 2 movies, the biggest halt was that it was coming after Tobey Maguire.
Hard to follow up.
But what I think it did better was trying to expand on the universe while telling the story of the movie. So like Dr. Connors is in the Sam Raimi trilogy. You can believe that Mysterio is technically in it because I'm blanking his name, but there's a reoccurring actor that plays a different role in all three of the Sam Raimi movies. And the idea was that eventually he would be revealed as Mysterio. That is theoretical, so that's not confirmed. It's just that was the way that it seemed like it was going.
Are you talking about Bruce Campbell?
Bruce Campbell, yes. Yes,
Glad
because in the
someone
first
here is
one,
good with names.
in the first one, he plays the ring announcer for the
Yep.
cage match.
Bonesaw.
Yeah.
The second one, he played the Ticket Man.
Yep. For MJ's movie.
I
Or
never fucking
MJ's
noticed that. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
For her play, not movie.
Yeah.
And then in the third one, they go out to a restaurant. It's like a French restaurant or something,
Yep.
and he has an accent.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
terrible,
shit.
terrible accent, by the way.
Yeah.
I never noticed
And
that.
he's their waiter. Yeah, it was,
Yeah, he's
Damn.
the waiter that's supposed to be given the ring, and he
Yeah.
gets people to come over and play
Yeah,
music.
I know
and
exactly what you're talking about. I did not realize that was the same dude.
All three of them, Bruce Campbell, and the idea was that eventually that would be Mysterio.
that would have been awesome.
I mean, it's still possible. I don't know if you've been seeing like the rumors lately on the new Spider-Man Secret Wars, but supposedly Tobey Maguire is supposed to be playing that Spider-Man.
I've heard a lot of things about the MCU changing their lineup because Kang is not going to be the end all be all of this saga.
I'm so far behind on the MCU.
Yeah, I have no clue what you're talking about.
Once your actor for your villain gets arrested, it's kind of hard to
What?
continue making movies with him. But yeah, I've heard. So Kang is supposed to be they were supposed to be doing Kang Dynasty. So, I mean, there's a lot of flaws with Kang, but in the new Ant-Man movie or newest Ant-Man movie, spoiler, Kang gets beat by Kang the Conqueror.
I don't even know any of these people you're talking about.
I
Yeah,
know what
see?
you're talking about now. Yeah.
He gets beat, and like, okay, if Ant-Man could beat your big bad of this saga, even if it is just a time variant of him, how do we expect him to be a legitimate threat? What people are hoping for is for Doctor Doom to be our big bad of the.
I saw some fan shit on that too.
Oh, dude.
I would actually like
Dr.
Doctor
Doom
Doom to
would've-
make a return.
Well, in Secret Wars, he was the main villain in
Yeah.
the comics. So, ultimately, since they did have a movie called Secret Wars coming up, it makes sense, you know. And I totally expect to see Tobey Maguire come back and probably Andrew Garfield. If they can swing it, maybe Venom.
Get the fuck
Maybe
out of here
Venom.
with your puns. You motherfucker. I don't think I didn't catch that. You son of a bitch.
Unintentional. I was being serious.
Yeah, but then the look on your face after you said it, you realize what you did.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm going to roll with it anyway.
Nope, cut it, take it out. No.
No, hell no. We don't have shit here. We free balling.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised to see everybody. I mean, if Hugh Jackman was like, yeah, I'll put on the suit and return for another Wolverine role,
I can't
Yeah.
fucking wait.
anything's possible. And if you've seen Doctor Strange and Mom, you know, we've already seen half of the X-Men come back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, we saw that together in theaters.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And I jumped at that Megatron looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
I was like,
you
what the-
did. I remember that.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck is Megatron doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The only
guys-
thing I know about the Ant-Man 2 or the newest one you're talking about is I keep seeing a lot of comparisons of that and Spy Kids 3.
yeah, I
I
believe
keep
it.
seeing the meme of the two like literally side by side and it looks like the same.
Well, I mean, like, you remember when those movies came out like once a year?
What, Marvels?
Yeah.
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 Now they're coming out like they're like, we had to have one each quarter.
Yeah,
Like,
they're just shoving them out, and I think that's where
so
they're
you're
failing.
losing so much quality in production.
That's why I fell off the MCU. Like I was keeping up all
And
the way to Avengers. Like
yeah, well, I mean, like if you started, like if you watched Iron Man when it came out,
of course,
phenomenal.
the OG MCU, before the
Um,
MCU was even a fucking thing.
but you watch Iron Man, and you're like, I gotta see the conclusion to this,
Yep.
you know, and ultimately the conclusion to it is Thanos. And once you get to that point, I think that's where a lot of people are gonna drop off the MCU because they don't need to watch, like, they're not making Captain America, which we invested 4 movies in already. They're not gonna make any more Iron Man movies because we've already invested a dozen movies in.
Yep.
And then Thor, they're still shitting out movies and they're getting worse, or they're staying the same, but they're all mediocre. That's the
See,
issue.
I just feel like, all right, we've done movies for all of our main characters. Now we're going to start doing movies for all the side characters that no one gives a shit about.
Well, and the thing is, the way that they set it up is we're not going to get, so obviously right now the trend, the path is that we will be having a new Avengers.
Hmm.
And that in the comics should be literally titled The New Avengers. But it doesn't mean that the old Avengers don't exist and they're not doing other things.
That's true.
When they created, I'm not gonna say this is fact because it's been a long time since I looked into it and was reading this stuff. But I'm pretty sure the New Avengers was to be the new protectors of Earth, while the Avengers went universal,
Okay.
which then also ended up creating the Illuminati.
Oh shit.
Like, which is the leaders of all the groups, essentially,
Mm-hmm.
being a team, a secret team that would strategize defeating the biggest of the bad. You
Yeah,
know?
because that's where you get like Professor Xavier, fucking all of them, all make the Illuminati.
Yeah, and Reed Richards. I don't know if they're ever gonna do a comic book accurate Reed Richards, but so my theory with Doctor Strange, by the way, in the Multiverse of Madness, that universe, everybody's dumb.
Yeah.
I think that is or they don't understand, like, I don't know. I don't even know how to express it. They're all stupid.
They are.
Cuz like ultimately you walk up to Wanda and you're like, "Wanda, stop this here." And she's like, "No," cuz she has a goal.
Yeah.
And she's like, "It's a shame." Or well, that line was so cold. To Reed Richards, she's like, "Do you have a wife and kids?" You know, and he's like, "Yeah." Good. So somebody will be there to take care of your kids. And then she shreds him, dude. It's like,
I remember that.
but why would you, how did he just stand there and let that happen?
Yeah, you're dealing with fucking Wanda. Like,
So I think that Doctor Strange was the only person to have a brain in that universe. And once they killed him, all their
Everyone-
intelligence is gone.
yeah.
Because Reed Richards is supposed to be the smartest person in pretty much in the universe.
Yeah.
Like, our Iron Man, realistically, is not supposed to be the smartest person in the universe.
No. Not in the comics. He's fucking, he is smart.
He's up
but
there, yeah.
Not in the universe.
I can't remember what it was, but there was some kind of artifact or something in the comics that Reed had it, and he's like, "Oh, it actually made me stupider to have this artifact, even though it makes people more intelligent."
Yeah, it actually dumbed him
Shit.
down.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so it's ridiculous how smart Reed Richards is, and that's why I'm like, we'll never get a comic book accurate Reed Richards in live action.
I mean, normally I would agree, but we got Deadpool finally. We got the legit comic Deadpool.
Yeah, that's
Not as much. The only thing I think that's lacking in the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool movie because those are the comics I have read, is his psyche. Yes, they definitely nailed the whole like sarcastic jokester asshole that he's always been. But in the comics, he's got voices in his head. He is fucking loony. And I don't feel like they've touched on that enough.
Yeah,
I do
if
enjoy
you
how Spider-Man, Deadpool 2, they did focus more because he does have feelings. He's not just, a clown the whole time. I like how Spider-Man, damn it. I keep saying
how
Spider-Man
Deadpool.
because we're supposed to be reverting back to Spider-Man
Yeah,
2,
yeah.
and here we are on these damn
Well,
rabbit
we're-
trails again.
Well, we're talking about Marvel. I think it's Spider-Man adjacent. Okay.
Yeah, well, okay, we're at least in the same fucking room still and not
Yeah.
freaking out in space. But to me, they haven't touched enough on Deadpool's psyche in the movies yet. That's
And-
about the only thing I think that's lacking.
I think to an extent you might be right, but I also think that that's just you being impatient because only because in the comics he does have multiple personalities in his brain, but they develop the longer his comics went on, the more his personalities developed and some even appeared.
Yeah, you are right there. He didn't start off fucking with all the voices. I guess I am just being impatient, but come on.
And I think we're also not to the because like in the comics they also do like he's practically got a dumpster that he fills with body parts of his own body parts all the time.
Yeah.
And we're not to that level yet. And I don't know. It's again one of those things where I don't know if in live action we'll get to that level.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll make it to that level. I'm still praying that because there is still talk about Deadpool 3 being PG-13.
I doubt it.
It's
Which
gonna be rated R.
I really fucking hope they stick with it because if they downgrade it, I am going to be very pissed. I'm not going to go see it opening weekend if it's PG-13. I won't let their box office do good. I'll wait and I'll still watch it, don't get me wrong. But I'm not going to let their fucking box office outsell the R-rated ones. Not that one person not going is going to change that, but dreams, man.
Trying to think what else was R rated.
Logan was R-rated.
On Disney Plus.
Is it really?
Well, yeah, it's because I think Disney already bought the rights to it.
Yeah, well,
Shit,
they
Fox
own
sold
Fox.
out.
Fox.
Yeah, they own Fox. So
Yeah,
that's
Disney owns Fox.
Well, I'm glad Sony is still sticking to their guns and hasn't sold Spider-Man yet.
They should though. Let's be real, they should.
I don't know, man. Disney will fuck everything up.
Okay, that's why do you say that?
Huh?
Why do you say that?
Because I'm against monopolies.
Okay, but check this out, right? Their whole game plan to Spider-Man in the MCU was let's let them do their thing with Amazing Spider-Man 2, and when that tanks, we hit them with this offer that we'll make them we'll make them new Spider-Man and we'll promise them $1 billion in box office, right? And it did it with their trilogy of Spider-Man. And that's better than at least Andrew Garfield's. I couldn't tell you or compare. And when you compare box office by year, it's different.
It is because of the price of money back then.
Yeah, the inflation is a factor. But they held up to their end of the deal. And that's why they're still letting them. That's why they're letting them do another trilogy.
Yeah.
Because they could just be like, all right, we're done here. We'll take our Spider-Man rights back and just. But I think the big issue is that Sony is ambitious because Disney did so well with Spider-Man. They're making all these Spider-Man knockoff or like Spider-Man adjacent movies, like Madam Web and Craven, Venom, Morbius. They're all Spider-Man adjacent characters, and the biggest difference is they don't have Spider-Man in them.
Yeah.
But in the advertising for Morbius, they use so much. There's literally in Morbius, there's a scene where in the background, it is Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man on a poster with murderer written on it.
Damn. I
And
never saw
goes,
Morbius.
That goes right back to, but that's only in the advertising. In the advertising, they show Oscorp, they show all these
But
things.
it's not in the actual movie?
They cut it all from
Oh.
the movie.
That's fucked up.
I've never seen the movie. They cut it all from the movie though.
Damn.
And that's a shame because that again goes to expanding the universe of Andrew Garfield's The Amazing Spider-Man. Oh man. And people want Andrew Garfield to do a third one, and they want Tobey Maguire to come do a fourth one, and they want,
Well, yeah, because that's always been the beauty of Spider-Man is the whole Spider-Verse that takes place within a universe within a
I
universe.
think the
and I
only
love
thing
it.
that Sony has Spider-Man is they've done so well with their animated movies.
But I want those to continue. Like, don't get
Oh,
me
they
wrong,
will.
I definitely like Peter way more than Miles, but everyone knows that I am a massive animation fan. I will
Yeah.
take animation over live action any fucking day, all day. And they've been doing so well with fucking Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse. I mean, we're definitely getting a third one. That was left wide open at the end of Across the Spider-Verse.
So,
I just wish we'd get more. Like, give me more animations.
since we're so big on spoilers, at the end of Morbius, he ends up meeting Vulture out in the middle of nowhere. And he's like, let's put a team together to beat Spider-Man.
We could do a throwback to Spider-Man 2. Vulture gets murdered by Kraven.
True. In the game.
Hey, I'm just trying to stay on back.
What?
Try to
In the game,
trying
yeah.
to revert back to the game
Oh,
here a little
Oh,
shit.
okay. So back to the game then.
bit. Here we go.
Um,
Finally. Now back to our regular scheduled
Kraven
program.
off screen kills 3 villains. And on screen kills
shit.
Scorpion.
Yeah, you witness him fucking murdering Scorpion. It is great.
Who all is it? He
Or
kills
Scorpion, or did we see him? Yeah, we saw
Is
him
it
murder
from the
Scorpion.
first game?
Yeah. So it's Shocker.
Yeah.
Falcon. Didn't Falcon get
Vulture.
Vulture? Go punch!
The
I'm not
Scorpion, Vulture, Shocker, and Electro are all killed off screen or on screen by Kraven. And it's after that he's like, I'm not hunting anybody anymore. You have to fight to the death, and I'll fight whoever's remaining. Which is where you end up getting Miles face to face with,
Mr. Negative.
yeah.
The man who killed his father.
And it is such a good, like, that whole fight is so good. All of it. Everything, honestly, like, Miles, really, I did not think that I would enjoy playing Miles as much in this game. Because I was like, he's going to be overpowered. Because in comparison to Peter, he's overpowered.
Well, yeah, because he has the fucking venom powers and all that shit, and when Peter doesn't.
Yeah. But in the game, they balance it out so much better, and a lot of Miles's story points, I think, make the game so much better. Because if it was just Peter's story throughout the whole thing, and you didn't play as Miles, and you didn't have that side, like, internal conflict, because they're both going through, the whole game is psychological warfare.
It really is. It is fucked up because Miles is struggling because, like I said, Kraven literally let these villains out of the
Right.
raft. And obviously Miles is, being young and basically wants vengeance on Mr. Lee, Mr. Negative.
Yep.
So he's fighting,
Finally.
like literally having to fight with himself. Peter's trying to teach him, no, we don't do that. It's not worth it. But yet every time Miles sees fucking Mr. Lee, he just,
Well, and that's the thing, like, they're trying to prevent these prison breaks, right? And they're like, well, we know he's after strong villains of Spider-Man. And who does Miles end up finding in a cell? Mr. Negative.
well,
Martin Lee.
get to the part first though where he actually rescues him because basically the ship where the prisoners are being held, the hunters literally fucking harpoon it from the shore with their tanks and shit, and they're dragging it, ship's going
Yeah.
under, and Miles hears someone screaming from the inside to basically come save them. And when he opens the fucking latch to see who it is, it's fucking Martin Lee, tied, still chained up and shit, fucking drowning. And
Yeah.
Miles is sitting there basically fighting this internal struggle. Do I save him or do I just let him fucking die right here and now and be done with it? Like,
And then my ass right there. Cage closed. Yeah.
hence why you're not a superhero.
Well, that's the thing. He doesn't
Yeah.
doesn't even get the chance to save him because then the hunters are all over him.
Yep.
You know?
Shit.
The hunters mess him up, and then he still chases to try to save him. and that but you see his whole perspective is like, how do I justify saving the man that killed my father?
Along with a lot of other people.
Yeah. Or I let whatever happens to him happen, which could end up also setting him free. So he's like, there's so many. He doesn't want to kill the villain, but he doesn't want to let him free. He doesn't want
The hunters to kill him.
Yeah, he doesn't want to set him up to die because then he's indirectly
Guilty
responsible.
by association.
So there, you just have this whole internal conflict, and he even talks to his mom about it. He tries to talk to Peter.
But at that point, Peter's already getting fucking psyched out by the suit and shit.
Yep.
So he's not very good advice right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk.
So
about
in other words, the game is fucking phenomenal.
It is phenomenal, dude. Platinum. I fucking love it.
And honestly, Spider-Man 1, the platinum, and I platinumed this game twice. Okay.
Yeah, because you got the PS5 version.
Yes. I platinumed this game twice. I would not platinum that game again. And I only did it because I had it on the 5 and was like, I might as well platinum this game because I've done it before.
Yeah, you just over here strutting and shit. That's the only reason you did that one.
Endurance, right? No, well, and I was like, well, I want to beat the games again before Spider-Man 2 came out, which I didn't do with Miles. I ended up holding off on that. I'll eventually go back and play Miles again. Just because, like, to platinum Miles, you have to beat the game twice already. But with the first one, you have to 100% everything. And that grind is just awful.
It is a fucking grind.
Because you have to do so much on each section of the map.
Yeah.
But this game made it a lot more painless.
The only issue I had with the grind of this one was the fucking spider bots.
Because they don't pop up on the map.
They're not on the map. They're nothing. What they do is they put off a little like colorful pulse bubble around them. And the more of them you find, the less often the pulse pretty much happens. You can be swinging the same area multiple times.
You have to actually like see in the direction of it for it to start pulsing. Whereas earlier in the game,
they're just everywhere. Big old pulses all the time.
Pulses every time you fly by it. And then you're like, oh, I better turn around and grab that.
Did you end up cheating and looking up a map of them?
For the last 2.
Yeah. Was one of them the one way the fuck in the sky?
No.
That one, that one got me.
That I thankfully got that earlier on.
Yeah.
The ones that I missed were like the ones on the edge of the maps.
Yeah, those were, I think by the time I pulled the map up, I had like 4 to go. I said, fuck it, I'm looking up a map.
They do have tips though. If you
if you open up the trophy menu and shit. Yeah, I didn't realize that until I was already like looking them up on a map. Though I gotta say, so 2 of my favorite things that were added in this one from the first Spider-Man and Miles. One being the fucking wingsuit. You literally get a fucking Spider-Man wingsuit, so you can glide around the whole map. One of the
trophies is literally to like glide from one.
You said you struggled with that one?
The only issue that I had is that, like, I know it said wingsuit only. I can't remember what I did, but if you close your wingsuit, even if you don't like do webs or anything, it doesn't count it.
Yeah.
So I failed it. Like when I did it the first time, I did it, but I failed it because I didn't.
Yeah, I just climbed to the top of what's the one that there's a building taller than Avengers Tower? There's that one. It's the fucking highest point.
There's one towards the corner that has a slingshot, and I just used the slingshot.
Oh, I didn't even use the slingshot. I just went to the highest fucking building.
Some of the roofs you can literally, Peter or Miles, he'll web 2 points of the building and slingshot himself off.
Which you can technically do on any building, but there are these spots for basically they call it super slingshots, where you actually get like 2 little bungees things you can latch to. But you can technically do the slingshot off of any building. Some of them don't even make sense. Like when I was on the top of that tower, I did the slingshot, and literally you see this web going off into fucking nowhere, and this one's going upward, even though I'm at the top with the fucking building, little glitch, but I literally slingshotted my ass off that tall building, immediately wingsuited and just held that shit.
Yeah, no, I had to do it twice.
Yeah. I think
But
the trophy I got, which was just a like full accident one, and I laughed so hard, was the first time I had hit the ground doing a stunt
oh yeah,
because I didn't even know that was a trophy. So like, you can do air stunts and shit, it'd be like front flips and all that. In the old game, you could just hold them forever and then you'd hit the ground, so you're on your feet, like it didn't matter. This one, if you're holding the stunt and you hit the ground, you straight fucking slam and splat. And I think the trophy was called like splat or something.
I guess you can turn on fall damage too.
Oh shit, really?
Oh
Yeah,
hell
so
yeah.
there are literally videos online of people just they're like, watch this comparison, fall damage versus no fall damage. So they go to the highest building and it's literally a side by side. They
Yep.
go straight down. And one, he literally crashes and you see the ground get all busted up, but he splats like when he dies in a mission. And then the other one is like he hits and he's like, what the fuck?
I'm gonna have to turn that on then because I'm actually replaying the game right now on max difficulty.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll turn fall damage on too, make it even harder.
You didn't already beat the game on max difficulty?
No, fuck you. You haven't either. Did you?
I don't know what. No, because you had to unlock.
Yeah, you have to unlock it after
Yeah.
beating the game. So yeah, no, I'm replaying it with max difficulty
No,
on.
I.
And well, what I like about it
The
too.
only one that I've beaten on max difficulty was Miles.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But I think what I'm liking most about playing on max difficulty right now is because I originally mostly didn't do any of the side shit. I just storied all the way through because I was so intrigued with it. I wanted to get the whole story. What I'm liking right now about playing on max is I can't even do the story missions. Like I have to go around collecting things to get the upgrades to even do the story mission because holy shit is it hard. So I'm having to fucking go around, do side missions, do all that to level up, and then go do a story.
So I did similar too. You know, I mean I did a good mix, but I should have done a lot more of the side stuff because if you do the side stuff, it does really like almost all of the side missions build towards the story.
They do.
So especially like if you do the Sandman stuff, if you do the hunter spots, the venom spots, like throughout the story as you're playing it, they actually do build towards the story. But if you do it after you beat the game, then it's kind of like, oh well, that's cool.
Yeah, and I feel like I definitely should have done more of the side shit before beating the game. Though I gotta say, my favorite little hidden thing in this game. So there are times where if you're playing as Miles or you're playing as Peter, and like say you're just it's not a story mission, but you're doing like a crime bust or any kind of like open thing in the map and you're fighting people, you'll actually have where the other Spider-Man will show up and you'll both be fighting.
Oh,
And
that's
then
really
you can do
cool.
the point.
It literally, you can go up to him. I found I'm like, oh, let's see what happens. I was playing as Peter. I walked up to Miles and it even popped up like a push triangle. And I'm like, oh, well, let's see what happens. They might just say something to each other. They straight go, and they point at each other. They do
Or
the
they
fucking,
hug or, like,
yeah.
they
I love
do
that
the
did that.
fucking meme. And I lost my shit. I literally hit record. I saved that video. I was so giddy. Yeah, I loved it. It was so great.
So we have two different platinum videos for the game. I like
think
that
mine, I
he
think
did
mine's
his-
better.
Mine though, I think it's just so fulfilling to finish the game, and at the very end, playing as Peter.
See, that was one of those ones that I didn't know was a trophy. I had found that one because I found the graveyard and I was looking around and shit. Because I remember Uncle Ben's being in the first game. I'm like, let's see if
Yeah.
they kept it. Because
And you
spoiler, Aunt May's dead in this one. If you played the
Yeah.
others, you know. So I wanted to go check and see if they kept it accurate. If Aunt May was next to Uncle Ben, and I got the trophy. So I ended up getting that
So
one.
my
early.
trophy
It's
is
platinum.
literally him coming up and like you get to see both their graves and it kind of like pans and you see like the sunset in the background,
Yeah.
right?
It is beautiful.
I only sent you the screenshot. I should send you the actual clip.
I sent you the
think-
video for mine, right?
Yeah, you
okay,
did.
yeah. We'll get to that.
But I just love it, and I'm wearing the new R suit, and so it's like it totally doesn't make sense, but it looks good,
It does.
and I really appreciate that they did that because like you could even play as Miles and go find his dad's gravestone as well. There's not a trophy for it; it's just something you can do. But yeah, no, I really do I thought that would be really fulfilling to like end the story and then go get that trophy since I saw that because I went through the trophies
Yeah.
way before I beat the game because I was like, well, what can I do?
When I ended up pulling up
And
the trophies and after I already knew I had the grave, and I was like, I looked through, I'm like, well, what's going to be my final? And I saw that one, and I'm like, that's got to be the fucking platinum.
See, and I had to do it earlier than that because I was like, I'm not letting this be my platinum. Oh man, spider bots almost were my platinum because I was so frustrated with them.
Same.
I was like, I might just go see that gravestone, and I'm like, nope.
So my platinum was you get a trophy. The last trophy I needed was running a lap on the fucking bases of the baseball stadium at the Big Apple. So my platinum trophy video is literally, and I wore the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man suit, the OG, and I ran around the bases, made it all the way to home, and it's great because Peter even does his like little smart-ass remark speech there, like what you just witnessed. And I do not regret my platinum at all.
No, it's very good. I think it looks good, and honestly, like, there's a number of things that are the platinum worthy screenshot in this game. I just think that if you weren't gonna do the baseball field because it's just funny,
Yeah.
and you weren't gonna do the Aunt May one, I don't know which one you would do.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because like, I know for you in Miles Morales,
I was just about to
you
bring
were
that
very
up.
much so like,
Yeah.
he planned his platinum with that.
That was
one.
the first time I ever planned on getting a platinum trophy. So in Miles, there's actually a giant statue of Stan Lee in the city. And one of your trophies is going and paying respects to Stan Lee.
Hell yeah.
So I made sure that was my platinum photo is Miles standing in front of Stan Lee statue.
Well, I normally don't save my screenshots or
Well, you don't have to. It does
screen
automatically.
clips. Well, I normally go through and delete them.
Oh, gotcha.
'Cause I don't-
I got flash drives full all the way back from fucking original when PS4 first started that shit.
Because I just don't. It's not something that I really care for.
Fair
But
enough.
with this one, I'm like, so many of our friends play this game, or will play this game, or did play this game.
Yeah.
So I was like, might as well get this screenshot in there. Because right after I got it, I think I sent it to you. So I was
Yeah. That's what literally drove me because I was kind of put. Because again, I was so mad at fucking spider bots. I was on a little hiatus of the game because spider bots were frustrating me. And then this motherfucker sends me the message of his platinum, and I freaking was pissed. I'm like, that motherfucker. Because I knew I was playing it before he even did. Because I was telling him, hey, have you gotten a chance? Like, nah, busy with the family. Fucking yada yada. I'm like, oh, okay, I got time. There's no way he's going to fucking catch up. One weekend, this fucker decides to sit down and just boom. Hey, by the way, check this out. Send me the damn platinum
Yeah.
picture. I'm like, this motherfucker.
So
how long did it take you to get that plat then?
Again, I have 1 hour longer than him.
yeah, so
I
if you were to look at my login time after he sent me his because I stopped playing the game after I got the platinum. And then once he sent me his clip of his platinum, I went and compared our time. Mine was 32 hours, his was 33.
Yep.
So but no, I mean, ultimately, I think the game's great. It's got minor issues. Like, there are things that bother me about the game, but not story things, not gameplay things. Here's the biggest thing that bothers me. I'll go ahead and say it.
Playing as Mary Jane.
Which time?
Yeah, anytime. I don't want my feet stuck on the fucking ground. I mean,
I
they're
think it was
great.
all worth it.
They're
You know
great
why?
for story, I will say that, but I want to swing.
It was all worth it because once you get to fight that bitch.
True.
Spoiler.
She gets turned into a fucking symbiote.
Yeah, she gets Shriek.
I think so, something like that. Yeah,
She becomes Shriek.
that is pretty awesome
That's
getting to
hot.
fight her.
And she kicks your ass.
she's hard, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Physically and mentally, she whoops you.
Who are you playing as while you're fighting her?
Peter.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta play as Peter. She's like, you don't fucking care about me.
So there's a lot of missions in the game where you have to play as a set Spider-Man. Like, or I know there's there's a side quest for Visions Academy, which you have to be Miles to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's side
Because that's
quests.
the academy that he's...
One of the biggest things. So when Harry first shows back up, he basically pitches to Peter that he made this whole new laboratory and thing called the Mary. I always forget. What it's Aunt May. What's freaking Harry's mom's name? I
I can't
forgot.
remember.
Emily May.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. I
the
was gonna
Emily.
say Emily.
Yeah, the Emily May Foundation, with basically to respect both of the women who raised them.
Yeah, his mother and Peter's aunt.
Because I don't know if you know this, Harry's actually smart, unlike in the Tobey Maguire movies where he's kind of more just a spoiled kid. Like Harry is also very smart. Um, and Harry made this foundation and surprised Peter with it, basically, so they could cure the world, their dream as children.
It's really fucking cool.
So, and obviously, when you're doing the Emily May missions, you have to be Peter.
Well, see, and that's how Venom gets in Harry's head. It's because
Yep.
he's feeding off him the whole time, and we don't know this until Peter has the suit. But right when he gets it back, that's when it becomes Venom.
Yeah, because Harry was already wearing the suit as Agent Venom, which I thought was super cool. You get a little Agent Venom scene there. Because Harry was already dying. He was dying from the same. They never really say what the disease is, but it's the same thing that his mother had that killed her.
It sounds like some kind of cancer. Like
Something.
the way that they describe it is, it sounds like some kind of cancer because they talk about radiation therapy and stuff like that.
Yeah. So he was literally, because you remember the first game, how he's like in Europe?
Yeah.
He's technically not. What it is literally fucking Norman was the one that got
kept him in
the tank with the symbiote.
Yeah, because it's revealed in the game as you play it that there was a meteor that hit sometime before the events of the first one.
Mm-hmm.
There was a meteor that hit in New York somewhere, and this ends up being how Dr. Connors lost his arm and all sorts of stuff like that. But ultimately, in that rock is where you get Venom.
Yeah, just like always.
Yeah.
But yeah, Norman got it and found, because that's another big thing, a theory of mine that I want to go off of. So when Norman first gives Harry the fucking symbiote, like it literally comes off of Norman and crawls onto Harry, which makes you think, does Norman still have some of it? Because you see him literally put his hand on him, and you watch the fucking symbiote climb off of him and onto Harry. Because that's what cured Harry. That was his cure, was Venom. But,
I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't put thought into that, huh?
I'm not. What I was more interested in was things that were said at the end.
Like what? Refresh me.
He said he ends up making a phone call to, I'm assuming, one of his labs, Oscorp somewhere, to start working on a serum. Well, we haven't heard of anything about the Green Goblin yet in this world.
True.
So the thought that I'm having is that this serum is going to be what creates the Goblin, because it's going to be made of, obviously they did researching with
Symbiote?
yeah.
Yeah, they did a lot of research with it.
So my thought is, based off that research, they're going to create the superhuman serum that is supposed to cure Harry. Won't.
Turn him into the Hobgoblin.
But we're going to get the Green Goblin. And I think when he goes mad with the Green Goblin serum, he's going to then make the Hobgoblin. And that's how Harry will return.
Yeah.
But the game ends with Harry being hospitalized, like crippled, hospitalized type deal.
Yeah, because of the fight you have with him.
Also,
Also,
well, it's that, and like
he is now he's back to dying because the symbiote's gone. So now he's back to basically dying again.
But he pretty much flatlines at the end, and Miles saves him.
Yep, with his electric power.
Yep.
So another thing that we left out. So what ends up actually killing Craven is Venom, and that scene, like, holy shit, because Craven's all happy and shit, like he finally found his predator, and Venom straight just walks up to him, good old fucking head bite off, just straight bit Craven's fucking head off and ate him.
The best part about it is,
I have to see that.
Hold on. You don't get to actually see him bite his head off. It's just very much so implied. But the best part about it is, that's right after Venom becomes Venom.
Yep, that's after the "We Are Venom."
No, that happens after.
Yeah.
He makes that statement afterwards.
After biting his head off. It's so good.
But okay, so this whole section of the game is the best part of the game, and I'm just gonna tell you,
It is.
Craven fights Peter. Peter is ready to kill him.
Yep.
Miles interferes. It's like, this is not us. He's like, no, this is not you. And you play as Miles and you fight Peter.
Which
You
what-
have to
Hell
whoop
yeah.
his ass.
And this is obviously him in black Spider-Man suit, you know.
Yes, it is symbiote Spider-Man versus Venom Miles. As Miles, you have to beat him. Once you beat him, you are able to extract the suit. Then you have to take it back to Dr. Connors to destroy it. Well, obviously, the game would have ended there if that's
Yep.
what happened.
Nope.
Venom, the symbiote, and Harry intercepts Peter as he's trying to get to Dr. Connors. And right when he reaches for that case that Venom's in, Venom also reaches for Harry, and it literally flings it out of Peter's hands and shatters the case. And Venom, the symbiote, and Harry become one.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's so good.
And he bitch slaps Peter, and then you get to play as Venom.
Yeah, that
And
quick
you
little
rampage through
New York.
Oscorp.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Oscorp. You're smashing the whole lab. Fucking
Once you
everything.
get out of Oscorp, you run into Craven. And you play as Venom, and you
versus
fight Craven.
Yep.
And the thing is, when you're playing earlier in the game versus Craven, very weird, because it's like you can't beat him. Like, you can beat him, but it's supposed to be more difficult. And then once you fight him as symbiote Spider-Man, I feel like it's easier to, like, for the most part, it's easier. The fight is easier. But when you play as Venom versus Craven, dude, it shows you how different the power is, because you literally
You just fucking
bitch slap this
Yeah.
guy, dude.
It's so easy to beat Craven as Venom.
I feel like that again goes back to the story point of the game. They're trying to show you how different the strength is compared to when you first have this introduction fight with him. You have this fight with Black Suit, and then you have this fight where you play as Venom. And it shows you how strong Venom
when you
is.
accept Venom and you become one with it, on how powerful you become.
And this is before Venom gets all powered up, and this is right fresh. Harry becomes Venom.
Yep.
Oh, it's so good.
And after you beat him, of course, you bite Craven's fucking head off.
It's so good.
And it's so good too, because afterwards they do the J. Jonah Jameson thing where they gotta be like, Spider-Man's a menace.
Yep. They
And
killed him.
he's like, you expect me to believe that black suited Spider-Man thing was not Spider-Man? When he's been running around with his new suit in the game, by the way, they are talking crap about every time you hear on news about Spider-Man after he gets the symbiote.
Yep.
They're talking about how different he seems.
Even the
dangerous he
civilians
seems.
are calling in saying how different he is, and
Yeah. How scary he is in comparison.
Yep.
And then, and that's the thing, throughout the game, you also, later in the game, end up unlocking Anti-Venom, which probably my favorite part outside of that whole section is when you unlock that, because that's when you get to play Spider-Man as a badass again.
yeah, because you actually get symbiote abilities when you're wearing the suit. So it kind of sucks when you give that up, you lose those abilities. But then when you make the anti-Venom suit, designed obviously to kill Venom, you get those abilities back and better ones.
So what ends up happening, right, is you end up having this story moment. So Miles is supposed to fight Martin Lee to the death in the game.
Yep.
And instead he chooses to set him free from Craven, and he'll fight Craven. He throws him out of this dome area that they're in. And the only thing that he says is go find Spider-Man. Martin Lee comes back later in the game. And you play as Miles, going through Peter's brain
Oh shit.
with Mr. Negative because he's the one that got them there.
Yep.
And it's because the hive mind stays in everybody. So Peter, even though he extracted the suit, actually still has some symbiote in him. With that, they're trying to figure out how to destroy the brain of the symbiote in Peter. And Mr. Negative ends up deciding to sacrifice himself in that moment to destroy the brain.
Mm-hmm.
But instead he ends up putting all of his negative energy in it, and it becomes anti-venom. That's how you unlock that. And that, again, like I said, that's where the game, to me, gets fun again when you're playing as Peter Parker, because now you get to fight Venom with all the Venom abilities, but you're white instead of, standard black Venom. It's fun, dude. Honestly, I think you would have a blast playing this game front to back.
Even knowing the spoilers, to me, if anything, it gives you something to look forward to. When like, ooh, when's this gonna happen? When's that gonna happen?
When they did because they didn't do a whole lot of spoilers for this game in trailers.
Well, you know me, I don't even watch trailers, so it was great for me.
So when they showed us gameplay of the game, I was not sold, right? I was just like, I'm getting this game purely because of how much I enjoyed the first game. And by proxy, Miles, because I played that as well. Oh boy, dude, this game, I don't know if I can go back to playing the other games for like at least 6 months.
I thought the same too. Like I thought about going back and replaying the originals, and at the same time I was like, I don't think I can. Like going without the wingsuit.
Gameplay is smoother, the wingsuit changes things.
Okay, I gotta say too, another one of my favorite new ability that got added in was being able to make your own web lines when you're doing like the stealth missions, how you can shoot your own webs to walk across.
Yeah, that is so...
that fucking ability.
You can now you can tether your own. So like, if I was up here above you, I could literally just tether and walk on that.
Yep, make your own web tether, unlike in the other ones where you had to like find a new high spot to jump to or swing over to. Now this one you can just be like, oh, there's one, boom, just make your own tether. And you could literally
walk on that tightrope that you just created, and just literally just pick up enemy after enemy.
And what's really cool, I even did it to see how many. You're not limited to just one. You can tether over to that, basically be standing right in the middle of your tether, make another tether going that way, make a tether going that way.
So like you're actually building a web there.
I did, yeah. I remember on one of the hunter bases, dude, I fucking had a whole web built across the top of that fucking area.
Did you do one of those completely with stealth? Because I did not. I do. Every time I went into one of those hunter bases, I was like, let's end this.
Which is funny.
That's so stupid to say too, because it is so hard to like clear massive waves of enemies.
And yet if you just do it stealthily, it's done.
Yeah.
And it's funny for me too, because I'm not a stealthy player. We all know this. Most games I'm run and gun. And it seems to be like games that don't rely on stealth, I tend to go stealth with. Like every one of the hunter bases I did stealthy. Another example is like Dishonored. Dishonored, you don't have to be stealthy at all. You could fucking run around just slaughtering. It's one of the games where I decide I'm going to go stealth the whole time. So, and like I said, with the web tether, it just made it, I think, a lot more fun making a massive web over the base. There was plenty of times where I could have easily just web shot my way over to the next beam. Nah, I tethered. Every time I just tethered. I didn't even jump around. I just stuck to my tethers the whole time.
So what's funny is in the first game, I made it a goal to try to clear as many bases as I could with stealth.
When it was harder, you did stealth, and then they made it easier for you, and you didn't do it.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So hold on. But when you're doing rooftop missions that need to be stealthy, or that you can be stealthy, that's when I was playing stealth in this newer one, and with the tethering, it made it so much more enjoyable.
It really did.
Whereas like if I was in a base, I'm like, might as well wreck some shit. Well, that's where you like get a lot of your like screwing around, and I feel like the gameplay does get repetitive, but because the game is so much more fast paced, and with them making stealth more diverse and
Much more diverse abilities too, because you can actually change
Yeah.
whether if you want to stick to using spider arms or if you want to use venom powers. Like I like how you
Yeah.
can choose your layout of abilities.
So, and that's the thing with both Spider-Mans, you end up unlocking 8 full abilities,
Yep.
and you get to equip them onto your wheel of moves however you want to.
Each one has 2 choices.
Yeah, so that's where your 8 come from. Each button has 2 choices. But they in it but they're also very much so playstyle based too.
They are.
I remember when I beat the game, I had when I was doing my fights with Spider-Man, Peter Parker, um there were moves that I had that were the spider suit, and I also had Venom abilities too because I was like, although I think the Venom abilities are better, I still needed that trophy for
Yeah.
the spider suit kills.
Once I got that trophy, I ditched the spider suit.
But I was still using them. I like the air launch
Really?
with the spider suit better.
Though there is because when you get anti venom, you get another choice too. I didn't like the venom ball that you got with the anti venom suit.
Right.
I stuck with the venom punch.
And that's the one. I think that might actually be one that I wasn't using at all.
Yeah, I stuck with the venom punch, and then the other one that you get the 2 choices between the symbiote is you have the one where you either like go in the air, shoot a bunch of tethers out and grab them, or you have the one where you can grab multiple people. And I stuck to the picking them up and slamming them to the ground one.
So with when you unlock anti venom, when you hit that mode to transform, when you do your awakening type thing.
Yeah, I love that.
So that's why I was using spider suit abilities, is because when you go into that mode, it changes all your moves. Venom.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, to the anti venom abilities.
I just love the effect of no matter what you're wearing, when you do the fucking like the ultimate
goes
move,
into
you
the-
immediately get covered with the anti venom
Yep.
suit. I thought that was so cool.
It's funny, once I found that out, I stopped using the anti venom suit altogether because
Yeah,
it was my favorite.
Same.
It was the one that I went to every time.
Yep.
But it's funny now. Just the irony of it is, I would probably just throw on the Venom suit that you wear in the game because you unlock it.
Yeah.
After the game, you unlock it. I feel like it's just the irony of, I would just put that on
And then go anti venom.
and then go anti venom right over it. That'd be so.
That would be pretty funny.
I think it would just be nice to like surprise somebody that is watching you play. And that's so funny because this series, like, I've had so many people come over. Like, I'll be playing the game and family will come over or friends will come over and they'll just immediately start being like sucked in.
Yeah. Even like, me, I'm against watching people play games. Shit ever. I used to leave friends' houses if they wouldn't. But this game, like, you were literally watching a cinema. Like, I could probably sit and watch him play this game.
Well, and the thing is, like, if you're watching somebody that knows how to swing around the map and make it look good,
Smooth. Oh yeah.
and like activate the wingsuit and be able to hit those air tunnels right and switch to web swinging, if you can do it good,
Which,
dude, you will probably suck somebody right in.
I am good at wingsuit in the game, but that's because I have lots of practice from Just Cause.
Yeah,
So I'm good at wingsuiting around.
So the wingsuits earlier in the game were my weakness. Like, I could not get the hang of it. But then they have the missions that help you with wingsuits. Like, obviously they're just missions, but all the side missions, by the way, that you had to get tiers on, I got the highest.
Oh, same. I golded all of them, even though you didn't have to gold them to get the platinum. Thankfully, I'm kind of glad you didn't have to gold them, but I went.
Actually, I just lied to you. There's one mission that I didn't, and it was a Mysterio mission, and I said, "Fuck that thing." I can't remember what it was, but it was like X amount of kills.
It might have been the one where you had to throw them off the map, because I was struggling with that one for a minute. The kills only counted if you threw them off the map.
No, there was one that I had that was like you had to get 20 kills in like a minute or something.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, you have it too. Everybody does it. Same missions. I would get to 19 and then 20 a second late. My time, if you look at it, my best time versus the time that's needed, it's literally like 2 extra seconds. And I retried it so many times, and I'm like, why?
Damn, that reminds me
Why?
so much because I was going for the platinum of Saints Row 4, and just like that, there's also the side missions you got to do where they have the ranking to them. There was the last one, which was the mind over matter missions, where you had to use like your powers to basically kill enemies. And every time, dude, I was always, like you said, like 2 seconds away from the gold medal of that. And that was the one mission that held me up the whole time getting my platinum on Saints Row. When I finally got that, oh, I was so happy. But I know the feeling, man.
So, Spider-Man 2 as a whole, I think gameplay, story,
Game of the year, man. For me, definitely game of the
it should
year.
be game of the year. I don't know if it will. I heard a lot about Hogwarts Legacy being game of the year.
Fuck Hogwarts.
And I'm like, it was sales based, by the way.
It was definitely because of sales. Like that game did sell good.
And that bothers me so much because I'm like, Spider-Man 2 is the game.
Yeah,
If there was
and
any
it sure
game
as
that has
fuck ain't
come out
Baldur's
this
Gate
year,
3.
if there was any game, I am playing that.
I'm giving him shit because he's stuck on it. Why he hasn't played Spider-Man yet is because of Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh yeah.
Fuck Spider-Man when Baldur's Gate 3 is involved. Okay.
Honestly,
man.
I'm only playing Baldur's Gate 3 because it's something that me and Kelsey can do together.
Fair enough.
But Spider-Man 2, oh, unmatched, dude.
Yeah.
There's one thing again that I said that I have a problem with. I might as well tell you now.
Hit me.
So in Miles Morales, they changed the character for they changed the head sculpt. They changed the actors that they were doing the motion cap. And it's because they have a voice actor who is also motion captured. And they have to mash together the voice actor's mocap and the actor that actually looks like Spider-Man to make sure that everything lines up. So the reason why they changed it is because the actor that is now Spider-Man in the game that does the physical mocap, he looks like a younger person or like the younger version of the voice actor. So when they're talking, everything lines up better. So they spend less time blending the mocap. Financially, I see why they did it. And otherwise, we wouldn't have Spider-Man 2 yet.
Yeah.
It'd be a few more years.
Which, if you didn't know, mocap means for motion capture.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with them changing it, but when you see Spider-Man in that suit without his mask on, his head just doesn't match the body.
I didn't notice.
I don't know. It is just something that bothered me. Is every time I look at him, he's got this thick, muscly neck, and I feel like he's got a small head.
Hey man, you ever seen Corey Taylor?
Yes, I have. There's a reason why that guy's got a thick neck, though.
He's literally called the Neck for a reason.
Fantastic person. I mean,
I've read all his books, fucking everything. He's great. But yeah.
but no, ultimately the head, to me, does not match the body. Whereas I feel like the first actor, his head matched the body. And then aside from that, they also changed, I don't know what it is how much they changed it, but Mary Jane looks different. And honestly, yeah. I prefer the first look, like the look of Mary Jane in the first game. There are moments in this game where she just downright does not look good at all.
It looks like she aged.
And I get she's supposed to have aged, but I mean, at the same
time, the two stories aren't that split up.
They're really not. No, they're pretty close together. I don't know. I didn't notice, but I feel like now that you have pointed this out while I'm replaying, I feel like it's gonna fucking bug me now.
Yeah, no.
And I probably would have never noticed it if you didn't bring it up.
You'll see. It's the only thing that bugs me, like, because Miles looks great.
He does look really good in this game. I like his hair, everything.
Everything about his, and you see that he's maturing a little bit because I mean, the games do take a little bit of time in
Yeah,
between.
of course.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, it's just the characters. When you're talking about the main character that you're playing as, when it's a detail like this that you end up noticing, it just bugs you.
Yeah. I hate you for this
Especially
now.
when the other character looks so good.
That's another cool thing too, was the whole Prowler throwback too, about his
Yeah.
uncle being released from prison. He's on probation and he's retiring as Prowler. So you get a little bit of side story there. Because there's like, he has all these like hidden spots where he stashed all his tech and everything as Prowler. So he kind of gives Mile the info to where to find these old stashes so they don't fall into the wrong hands. But it's really cool seeing Uncle being, trying to be a good person. And then the end there where he moves into the apartment right there with them. Like that was
He's
really
like,
cool.
"You're stealing from us?"
Yeah, it's
No,
still
I
the
just
record
moved
player.
Upstairs.
Yeah.
I just moved in here. Yeah.
Yeah, because Miles realized that his dad's record player was gone. He's like, the hell? And his mom's like, oh, well, give it to your uncle. He's living upstairs.
So, ultimately,
Does not disappoint.
yeah. And honestly, I think one of the things that I was reading about was people don't like that the game ends with Peter semi-retiring.
He pretty much says it's yours now, Miles.
Yeah, he said, "I'm always gonna be here," but like, you're Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Like that's kind of
he handed him the torch fully. Said you're Spider-Man now.
No, I think because of the end credit scene we got, and because we know where Norman's brain is at.
Yeah, really leading
We
towards the
know-
Sinister Six right there.
We know that Peter's gonna come back. So Spider-Man 3, I know it's got to be in the plans.
I kind of have a feeling that in Spider-Man 3, Peter's going to get killed.
It's possible.
I think he's going to die in the next game.
I think we will get Miles Morales 2 before that.
Yeah.
And then I think following, if there is a big death of Peter Parker, we will get a Miles 3. And they've already introduced the aspect of the multiverse of Spider-Man being a thing.
Do with the Spider-Bots and shit.
And I think it might be a stretch. Ultimately, Doc Ock was a great villain for the first game.
Oh yeah.
And I love the tease that he plans on coming back.
Yeah, well, you pretty much get a straight Sinister Six fucking tease at the end credits, and it's great.
And with the tease of
Carnage,
yeah. Well, Carnage, I think is going to be DLC. So you have this moment where Norman's talking to Otto, and he's like, "Who is Spider-Man?" He's like, it's great that you don't know, because it's something that'll finally drive you nuts. Like that's his attitude. But he's like, "I'm just plotting my revenge."
Yep.
So I think we're gonna have a story moment where those two are gonna actually be in Spider-Man 3, because like I said, it's not gonna be the next game. We have Wolverine confirmed. Should be next year. And I believe we're gonna get Miles Morales 2 before Spider-Man 3. My belief is that in Spider-Man 3, because Miles Morales, I think, will introduce more of the multiverse aspects.
I hope so. I really hope the next game does play.
Spider-Man 3, I think we will get a Sinister Six of the multiverse.
Oh shit.
Because a lot of the Sinister Six members of our universe we saw in the first game, and they're dead now. Or you're Martin Lee and you don't have your powers anymore.
Well, because another thing towards that they winked at towards the Spider-Verse was at the Emily May Foundation, where they actually have a based on the fucking name of the machine that opens the verse. A hyper, but fucking, it's right there. I'm butchering it. Particle accelerator.
Yes, there we go. God damn.
I got it.
Always on the
Woohoo!
tip of my tongue too.
For
I'm
me.
like,
yeah. So in the Emily May Foundation that we're talking about that Harry made, they actually
that is how they defeat Venom.
Yeah, with the particle accelerator. But Peter straight points out like, "Oh shit, you got a particle accelerator?" I'm like, it's getting some more work done to it, but yeah. So there's another big old fucking wink towards the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. And particle accelerators are always the
Link to the Spider-Verse.
the link to multiverses in general, because that's how the Flash gets his powers, from the particle
And don't be
accelerator.
throwing DC in here. We ain't
Hey.
fuck DC.
I like DC. Fuck off.
DC, okay. DC does have way better animations. Their animated movies have always been top tier, and I love DC for that. Other than that, they can fuck off. Because they have Superman, and I hate Superman.
You can't let Superman be the only thing.
I fucking hate Superman so much.
You can't let Superman be the only thing that makes you hate the DC universe.
You know one of my other biggest issues with DC universes? Add some more fucking light! Everything's so fucking dark!
It's
You
supposed
like dark
to
and
be
gritty.
dark.
I don't want to have to be like, God damn, I gotta turn the brightness of my TV up just so I can fucking at least see what's going on. It's some damn light!
Talking about in movies.
Yes!
How else is Robert Pattinson supposed to look good? Honestly, he did a good job as Batman, though. We're not talking about that right
No.
Spider-Man.
That was something that's still on my mind, though, since we did bring up Corey Taylor to jump on a rabbit trail. Did you hear the fucking drummer got fired? Jay, the new drummer?
Really?
Yeah, he got fired. So the big rumor now is who's taking up the role of the third drummer for Slipknot now. I haven't really read the details on why he got fucking fired, but apparently he's heartbroken over it. I did see a funny meme saying MGK was going to become the new drummer.
Yeah.
Like that would ever happen.
So, and to Spider-Man. Spider-Man 3. I think we will have the Sinister Six is going to implode.
Yeah.
Because we already know that Norman and Otto cannot work together.
No. They have a history.
I think we're going to get a really awesome moment. And because it's so far away, like I really believe that this will happen. You will have
this
a
is
fight.
This is recorded, so we'll know if you're able to fucking, if your prediction comes true or not.
I feel like we will have a fight where you will play as Peter Parker. You will fight Otto and Norman. But unlike in the first game where you're fighting pairs of villains, you'll be fighting them and they'll be fighting each other.
Interesting.
I think you will have a free-for-all, like, triple threat there between... Which is weird because, you know, like, ultimately, like, could they end up killing each other? I think that it will default to them attacking you. But them doing damage to each other. Because you know how, like, in the game, you could use the environment in the first one to help you do damage to your enemies?
Yeah.
That's how you stun them?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they
You did
hinted
that in the
at
second one, too.
They hinted at it in the first one a little bit. Where, like, when you were doing Vulture and Electro, when you're fighting them, they're hitting each other.
Yeah.
And that's how they end up getting stunned. I think that is going to be a big aspect of a fight between Norman and Otto with Spider-Man.
Just throwing this out there, not that this would happen, but how fucking awesome would it be that if the next Spider-Man game you play as the Sinister Six, getting to run around the town as fucking Doc Ock or fly around as Green Goblin, like, how awesome would that be to play as, like, I could definitely see you being able to climb around buildings with Otto, flying with freaking Green Goblin. Not that it's probably never going to happen, but damn.
I think you're onto something there. I don't think that it'll happen, but I think Green Goblin would be really fun to, like, fly around the map as.
So even if it's just like, I mean, hell, we got to play as Venom for a short period in this game.
People are wanting a Venom game after that.
I mean, I would kill for just a Venom game. That'd be sick.
I just don't see it happening.
No, definitely not. But at the same time, I didn't see Venom getting his own movies either. So you never know.
I don't see it happening because the way that the send-off is, you know, like...
True.
In this version, he's a hive mind.
Maybe he'll just play Carnage. Get a Carnage game. It could play in, since the movies did that. It could be one of the ones where you're Venom trying to defeat Carnage. But again, we're way out of the ballpark here, but I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
Also, did you know who designed Venom originally? Todd McFarlane, my favorite author of Spawn.
That makes sense.
Venom was actually his character back when he worked for Marvel.
That makes a lot of sense.
And the character makes a lot more sense now, doesn't it? Knowing that Todd McFarlane, that was his character. He came up with the idea for him, designed him.
Yeah, you kind of see some Spawn in him.
Well, especially towards the newer Spawns, because they've been breaking off in their own little like multiverse thing going on. You have Gunslinger Spawn, King Spawn. There's actually one in the new Spawn. Fuck is his name? Literally resemblance to Venom, like dead on. Basically, think if Spawn got the symbiote, that's what
Yeah.
this character looks like in the new Spawns. I cannot think of his name right now, but yep, Todd McFarlane legitly wrote and designed Venom back when he worked for Marvel. He almost pitched Spawn to them too when he worked for them, but he didn't. He kept that to himself on the back burner until he quit and made Image Comics, and that's where Spawn.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I think you might be right. I think Peter will probably die in a future game.
Rip.
But I think it would all be to set up Miles 3.
I think so.
I think that is the route that you had to go because not only did he lose his father, I think the Prowler has to die too, more than likely. But that, who knows? Maybe that'll be in the second game. I feel like
I could definitely see, basically, in the third Spider-Man, Peter dying, and that opening up, or even if it's in the second Miles, like maybe he dies at the end of the second Miles game, opening up basically the door. That's what gets us into the Spider-Verse. Like he starts exploring the Spider-Verse to either find like a new Peter, or maybe
I
he's
think
like.
it'll happen before Peter dies.
But I think it'd be cool, like if like he starts going around the Spider-Verse. Maybe Peter's like, maybe it's not an instant death. Maybe he's dying of disease or anything like that. But the idea of him then going to the Spider-Verse to basically find, I mean, not really find a cure. Peter's going to die in a fight, but to basically he starts exploring the Spider-Verse, realizing, well, Peter's dead, my dad's dead. If Prowler dies, like I don't really have much left in this fucking universe anyway. Maybe I need to start going out there more.
I think so. He just had this big character moment where he saved and somewhat forgave the person that killed his dad.
Yeah.
But then I think if we have Miles 2, the Prowler needs to get back in the suit for something. Something that Miles is like, no, don't do it. I can handle this. That then inadvertently gets the Prowler killed. Going into the third Spider-Man game, you have Miles trying to live with not only the fact that his father has died, that his uncle has died, and then in that game, you have the death of Peter Parker, and the only death that he's really somewhat gotten over is the death of his father. That opens up for the games to go down a darker path with Miles to find that redemption. Because the thing is with Peter, we had a moment, and that's the only thing that I wish we could have expanded on more in Spider-Man 2, is really the depth of his personality ascending.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, you get your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. The whole backstory. Because obviously a lot of the villains that we fight in the first one are villains that he's already beaten.
Mm-hmm.
They just get upgrades from Otto.
Yeah.
So and then even in Spider-Man 2, you do fight Dr. Connors, by the way, as the Lizard. Good fight.
Yeah.
Again, this game has phenomenal fights. Better than the first, better than the second, or well, better than Miles. Best fights in the series so far. Everybody that he has fought, aside from Otto and Martin Lee, and now Venom, Craven. So that all the big bads of the games, the real big bads of each section of the games, those have been the new villains for him. All the other villains have been reoccurring from his past. He's beat all of them before. Rhino, Tombstone, like he's interacted with all these guys. He's literally when you meet Mysterio, he's already been beaten and is on the road to redemption.
Literally working a circus.
Yeah. So there is no path, like friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He gets the suit and he gets darker for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no darkness other than, oh yeah, he lost his grandma in the first one. Or aunt in the first one.
Yeah.
Sorry. we don't see that depth of loss and
Grief and shit like
grief
that.
that you'd get. I mean, his best friend's there, or he thought he was in Europe.
Yeah.
Which is one of the moral dilemmas that he has in the towards the end of the game is no matter what, Harry has to live. Which I think which will make it more interesting going into the next game because he is on his deathbed and Peter just doesn't know how to handle that, other than to try to be there and help find the cure, right? Or help find the solution to saving Harry. But ultimately, I don't think we've gone down a dark path yet with Spider-Man in the games. And the stuff with Venom was so fast that I don't think it hits the way you would want it to
True.
as a dark story. So I think giving that to Miles, because there's a lot of dark shit that happens in the comics
Oh, big time.
to Peter and yeah.
Hmm.
So I think it would just be very interesting to see that happen with Miles because it's a character that, relative to media, doesn't have a whole lot of representation, and it would be a different perspective than what we're getting in like the animated movies.
Well, but
Which
we're already about to get into when the third one comes out, because if you remember the fucking end of Across the Spider-Verse, when he goes into that other universe, how he is the Prowler.
Yeah,
Miles is the Prowler.
in that universe.
So I'm
yeah.
glad that they're like, I feel like the next Spider-Verse movie is definitely going to be much more of a darker path, which I hope they do.
And I'm not saying that they've never done that with Miles, but when you look at like in live action, which
Well,
is
of
the
course.
most frequent viewing of Spider-Man,
Sadly.
you have all Peter Parkers and like Tom Holland's universe. They're hinting at Miles being there because you do meet Aaron, his uncle, and he does mention his nephew, and we're not to that point yet where Peter's old enough, but
To take on.
coming up to the new trilogy, there is talks that Miles will be involved. And this will be like the beginning days of Miles as Spider-Man.
I could see that.
And that'll be like the first real live action adaptation of Miles Morales.
Dick, but okay.
I think it depends on the actor and depends on the story, ultimately.
Do you think they're gonna make Miles white?
No,
Why? I mean, they made the mermaid black. Like, why not make Miles white?
we're not getting into that today. Little Mermaid was alright. Not as good as watching the animated movie.
Of course not. Under the sea. Let me bust out my singing voice.
You know, don't even. If you're going to complain about anything about The Little Mermaid, complain about the voice of Sebastian. That is like my least favorite part about it. Flounder's not even in it, dude. Ariel's
What?
best friend.
Really?
See him for like 2 minutes.
Bummer.
Again,
Nah,
we're not talking about Little Mermaid.
Oh, we're
Real
talking.
quick, Disney's been switching shit up, and I don't like it. Like, they took Mushu out of Milan, and I didn't like it at all.
Supposedly,
Sucked.
Disney's even backtracking because the new South Park episode that just dropped, the into
Yep.
the Pandaverse, whatever it's called. Supposedly, that hit Disney so hard that they actually like fucking backtracked on some of their new projects. I guess they were working on. So
I don't know anything about that.
yeah, it's great. Basically, Cartman's played by a black woman in the new South Park. It's hilarious.
Yeah, they gender swap
Gender
and
swapped
race
out
swap
everyone.
as well.
Yep.
So it was fucking hilarious.
It was really good.
Well, I think we should wrap up this conversation.
We
with
are
Spider-Man.
damn near 2 hours, the longest episode we've done, and we haven't even got to the title topic. Hentai. Oh, that's right. You don't really watch a lot of hentai or read it, right?
Yeah,
Cool.
not really.
Bummer.
10 out of 10 though.
But check out my DVD porn
It,
collection.
if you were to get really strict with this game,
All I know is my
maybe-
thumb ended up hurting after fighting a lot. There's a lot of mashing square. My only complaint.
maybe 9 out of 10. Like, if you were to be as strict as you could, really.
Yeah, even being like a dick critic, man, I'd still have to give it a 9.
But honestly, my personal experience with the game,
11.
it's a solid 10 out of 10. Like, it is the perfect 10 for me, and it's, I think a little bit of that is biased towards it being a game style that I really enjoy playing.
I think that's for me too, because my favorite game modes are open world and not be stuck on the ground. Like, that's why my favorite game series of all is Infamous. I love the Infamous games, the Prototype games, and the Spider-Man games, Just Cause. Any game that is open world where I'm not stuck walking.
So funny, he hasn't beaten Kakarot yet.
Bite
But
me.
it technically falls in this category. He hasn't even beat it yet, and I've got 2 platinums.
Fuck off, would you? All right. I did just
Upload that save data, dude.
I did just buy it for the second time too. I also bought it on the Switch.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Are you gonna actually play it?
maybe I'll get around to it.
You gonna play the Breakers?
That's a
I
lie.
downloaded that.
I'll say it is free now, so we can all play it.
I
It's
downloaded
it's
it
a
and
plus
played it.
game. Did you? We all need to play that.
Played
Download
it a few
Breakers.
times.
The Broly thing did just get added, so I'm probably gonna start playing it
Yeah.
finally. Because did I tell you about how I accidentally bought that game?
Yeah.
So
you
I
told me
had
about
originally
that.
had it already on the Switch, like because I found it was cross-platform. Like this would be a game I'd play much more on my Switch than my PlayStation. And then Street Fighter 6 was out, and I wanted to buy some coins. Well, revert back. Breakers was on sale on PlayStation for like $10. I added it to my cart, which is what I normally do, and then I think about it. If I go back and end up buying it, I do. So I had it in my cart for the $10. Didn't end up buying it. Forgot about it. Was on Street Fighter 6. There was a really cool costume colors I wanted, so I went to did like a quick tap buy in game and bought like I don't know, it was like $5 or $10 of like Street Fighter credit. Tap 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 tap, quit, bought it, and then so I get my costumes. Fucking Rigby was sitting there and he's like, "What's the Breakers?" I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" He's like, "I just popped up that you bought the Breakers." And I'm like, "What?" And I go to my fucking latest purchase, and sure enough, it was still in my fucking cart, but back to being full price. And now it's
That's
also
so
free for
shit.
PlayStation Plus. So I am very upset about that. So I need to play the fucking game now at least. I've bought it twice. Technically got it 3 times. Bless you. God damn, that hit
Thank
red. Turn your headphones down.
Next time, yeah.
Uh, But
I'll try and turn it away from it too.
yeah, with the Broly, I mean, I can't complain. I cough a lot because I'm a fucking smoker. So, but with the Broly update to Breakers, I do feel like I need to add it. And now that it's free, our friends have no fucking excuse. We can all get on and play it.
Yeah, I've
So-
put probably
I
about an hour
don't
and a half.
have internet.
How do you not have internet? No, you have internet. You live in a fucking house of 3. You have
Dude,
internet.
if you didn't have internet, that would be fixed so quick because of the people that you live
I was gonna
with.
say the
I
people
know,
the people you live
exactly.
with would not survive without internet, especially Jobo.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
The internet went out literally for like 2 days, and I was right there, like, cool. Read a
They're over
book.
there. They're over here pulling their fucking hair out and shit. Probably.
Especially Jobo.
Oh, I bet
Oh,
that kid
man.
can't go without internet.
But on top of that, he has like a bunch of assignments due.
Oh, that's true. He is in school doing this. So, but
He has
anyway,
a bunch of assignments due, and he was freaking out. I was like, I have no way to turn this shit in. This is gonna suck.
hell, man, do it the old way I used to do it. Go to fucking Denny's, use the free Wi-Fi, man. Get yourself coffee and just sit there. Oh, I remember when I lived in a trailer without internet. I went to fucking McDonald's, or I went to
Go to
Denny's.
McDonald's, download your porn.
I did, yep. I literally went and sat in the fucking corner, ordered me a little meal, and just sat in the corner. Didn't even get to like preview the videos. I just clicked on them, download. Just sat there downloading
Yeah.
porn.
When you grow up poor.
Yeah, do
Yeah.
what you got to
Figure it
do,
out.
man.
Do what you gotta do.
That's why I have that flash drive still full of porn because that was all back when I had to fucking
That
download.
was
like,
that was all your just quick download
Yep.
porn.
That's why there's some weird ones in there. I'm like,
This is
"Ugh."
all McDonald's porn right
That's
here.
right.
And then you click on a video and it's actually
A
Ronald
McDonald's ad or some shit.
It's Ronald's McDonald's fucking
Oh god.
eating a Big Mac out of her ass cheeks. There you go. We talked about some porn.
There we go.
You feel good about it?
Well, we gotta at least show you some. Die Hard, grab one of the books and at least show them.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Okay. So this one right here, this is one Muffins actually won on an auction on what's that damn auction site that's really popular?
Yeah,
Oh
I have no
damn.
clue, man.
I was not expecting that cover.
Yeah. Just the cover alone. I mean, you open
Oh
like
my.
you can get like 5 pages in, and this ain't no censor. This is all full.
Yeah,
This is full send.
Is this looks pretty aggressive too?
Oh, it's hentai. It's what's not aggressive.
I guess that's fair. The only hentai I've ever read.
Yep. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
He's like, the first cock.
Well, I literally like flipped to a page.
Yep. And there it is.
Seeing a whole lot of making out here.
Yep. Just go like 3 pages and you'll hit it.
Yeah, no, I did already.
Yeah,
I went back a few
In the same
pages.
page.
I went back a few pages.
Which one is that? I think that's the same one we talked about last time. What's the title of that one again? Like I said, that was the first one I got. Yeah. Either way, all you gotta do is go on Amazon and look anything published by fuck you.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Pretty much. I think that's like FUKKU. Fuck you. Reminds me of the Austin Powers.
Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck me.
Fuck me. See?
Twins. I love that Basil. Twins.
Oh my.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's full
Well, I
send.
just flipped to a page and like it shows it like it's like her ass is moving so fast that it's yeah.
Multiple images of it.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You just.
Oh hey, look! I found your bookmark.
Oh, I just haven't gotten very far into
You
it.
found his bookmark in a bunch of sticky pages.
Oh God!
Hey, I'm trying to actually read the story, man. It's hard though. I got to pause and take care of something. And then
You gotta pause 15 pages into the
Just
book.
don't damage the equipment.
Yeah, I won't. I just don't turn that black light on right there.
I'm gonna pretend like you didn't say that.
Well, how's it? There you go. You read your first hentai right here on Hentai Heathens.
No, it's not my first one. It's just the first one probably in a few years.
Fair enough. But anywho, I guess
wouldn't call this reading. I'm just flipping through pages.
I'm just looking at pictures. How awesome would it be? I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna fucking find a way. I want to make a hentai pop-up book.
Oh man, you remember Captain Underpants?
Fuck, I have all the books right there on the shelf,
Right.
bro. I love
So
the back and
flip,
forth
the
page.
back and forth.
Oh
the
hell
page flips.
yeah! They gotta put that in a hentai, man. God, I
Be
love
one like titties drop.
Yeah.
Just do.
Going back and
That'd be
forth.
great.
those were my favorite books as a kid. I love the Captain Underpants books, and not gonna lie, that was a movie that did not disappoint. The Captain Underpants movie.
I never saw it.
I was afraid because it came out, I think, like 2019 or something like that. I was afraid it would have got modernized. And no,
Yep.
man, it's Captain Underpants. It's fucking great.
Oh yeah.
You know what other books I missed too? Running off fucking rabbit trails here, but while we're on it, there was you remember the original Goosebumps, right?
Yep.
Did you ever read the Goosebumps Choose Your Own Scare?
No, I never got to those.
There was I think they only made a couple of them, so it was really cool. So as you were reading, you get to the bottom of the page.
You have to choose your
It
path,
would
right?
give you an option, like open the door, go this way,
Hell
and
yeah.
open the door going that way, and it would tell you whichever one you choose, go to said page, and then you'd start reading, and sure enough, bottom of the page, fucking tell you what's your next choice. And
There was a few, that was really popular, like for a good few years.
Yeah.
where, like a lot of books were coming out like that, and it wasn't just Goosebumps. It was a few different franchises that were doing that.
and then it just died, disappeared, never to return. Like I really wish that would make a comeback.
I think the only problem with that is you get to a point where like the stories do the stories end up ending at the same conclusion no matter what path you take?
At least in the Goosebumps, no, I believe there was at least 2
Or-
to 3 endings in the Goosebumps.
So you do that, but then everybody that reads it, not everybody, but obviously you have 3 different paths to which this story can end. Now you've got 3 different groups of that community that's like, well, this story can't continue on because you have 3 different conclusions unless you're going to write 3 different stories from that point on.
It is true. They were all one standing stories. There was no conclusions to the ones I read. I mean, it's not impossible going back to the Infamous games, considering that, there was a good and bad ending to them. the way they'd continued the story was they basically picked, well, which ending did people choose first the most? And that's where they decided to continue the story from. But anywho, if you are still listening, I greatly appreciate making this whole way. Hopefully you enjoyed our guest here, Mr. AceChase, and his constant rambling of Spider-Man. Good job. You kept the conversation going the whole time.
And
we only got
we talked about a lot of Marvel.
We only went down like 2 rabbit holes this time, which is a new record for us. We actually were able to stay on a topic, which is rare for an ADHD motherfucker like me. If you're still listening, again, obviously you don't have ADHD if you still are listening. But anywho, I'm assuming we'll be able to have you back on again, Ace?
Yeah.
Well, fucking A. Die Hard, you got anything?
Yeah. Nah, man.
No. All right. Well, we appreciate y'all, and remember, if you fuck a couch, everyone loses.